Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. I'm with Liz Trotter. This is Smart Business Moves.
Hey, y'all.
Tuesday, the second day of March.
It's my birthday month. It's my birthday.
It is.
It is. And it's
We
all
gotta wait a while, though. It's towards the end, right at the end.
right at the end. It is. Same as
One day away from another very special
yeah,
birthday.
Fool's Day. Yeah, the day that fools were born. That day, is that the day you're talking about?
That wasn't someone they were necessarily born. It was just the day that they're celebrating.
Oh, okay. That's better. Yeah, my birthday is the same as Amy Wiggs King,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of cool. I like having the same birthday as somebody else. It's always fun.
Well, at least you can count on one person remembering your birthday.
Well, she remembers my birthday better than I remember hers. I mean, I'm remembering early this year, but some years I'll remember like the middle of the day. I'll be like, oh, today's Amy's birthday too. But she always remembers. Yeah, she's better than me. Hey, Debbie. Hey, you're coming in for the last roundup here, huh? The last hurrah.
We're on the downhill.
3
swing.
days. 3 days. That's it. It's the last 3 days here.
I was doing a little bit of research in terms of when we did our first smart business moves.
Uh-huh.
It was the 10th.
Oh, I thought it was the 15th.
No, I mean, it took us a couple of days to kind of get the whole format, or a week or so before we kind of settled into the format, which is similar to this. But we may have to do a mashup of like the best of over the last year, because we've had some moments.
Yeah, we have had some. We've had some great shows too.
Some unprecedented events.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't remember how many days in a row we remember to say unprecedented event, and then we missed a day, and I felt like I was going to be
scared. Got to the point where it felt like that there was nothing really unprecedented happening anymore. It was like it all, everything that happened today has happened before, so really it would be disingenuous to use it.
Yeah. Oh no, Debbie. Just last 3 days of the KPI training that we've been doing. So yeah, Smart Business will continue on, but just not the KPI stuff. Are we going to announce anything that we're doing for our anniversary or next?
Do we know yet? You can announce the ideas that we're batting around.
I do. Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate that. It's been a rough couple of days. We
appreciate the support.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. You have any ideas what you would like to see moving forward, Debbie? Any ideas?
Would you like more guests? Would you like more structured learning? Maybe in smaller bites where we aren't like taking a topic. It's like a semester course, 1 day at a time type thing.
That's been kind of exhausting. It's kind of worn Tom and I off down.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it till the end of the week. What else? What else are we thinking about? We're thinking about actually doing Zoom as opposed to the Facebook Live, so we can get more people into the Q&A and more interaction.
Although the 1 minute questions, what was that called?
On the spot.
Yeah, on the spot.
We haven't done on the spot. I even forgot about on the spot. We had a list of ideas, and that didn't even make it.
Yeah, put it on the list. Yeah, we like on the spot too. That is fun, Debbie. We got to do on the spot a little bit different, though. I think what we want to do with on the spot is have like a topic that we say like on Monday. We announce what the topic for on the spot will be on Monday. Then everybody get all their questions so that on Thursday, we used to do it on Friday. So on Thursday, when we do it, then everybody's ready and they have their questions ready to go. The reason why we stopped doing it was people stopped having questions. They just didn't have that many questions left. So, but if we know what topic we're going to do, we could get a guest on that is an expert on that topic too.
Well, we don't want to get somebody that's too much of an expert because then we have no reason to be there.
Oh, no. There's always room for more experts, Tom.
No, if the person, you know.
I can only think of one expert that we've ever brought on that he believed he was so much of an expert that we were unnecessary.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think everybody's, hey, Leslie, good to see you. I think for the most part, people are always ready to hear more. I did want to get on, we had a guest one time that said that she could talk to us about Passover cleanings, and we never did get her on because we changed up formats.
Yeah. We definitely want to get back to having guests, maybe not every day, but once a week or so, maybe mix it up a little bit, on the spot occasionally. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Using maybe, I don't know if we use Zoom every day, probably not, but for some days we would use Zoom.
Why not every day, Tom? I feel like Zoom is let's do it every time.
Maybe we do. I'm down with that.
You can talk to the people.
We do some pretty large Zoom calls with Made Central. Depending on what you're doing, if you're like presenting or sharing some information, sometimes you have to mute everybody out because when you take everybody off of mute, it's just like city rumble noise.
Yeah, but it's okay. Usually what we do on our calls when we have a lot of people on, you just have them raise their hand or they can unmute themselves when they want to talk.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. Zoom, right? I agree. So how about, good idea, Debbie, about the topics. What topics are you guys interested in? What would you like to hear more about, have guests speak about? We are going to be doing some a couple of fun things. I guess we don't want to talk about that yet, but we are going to do a couple of.
We've got a couple of things lined up that I don't know. It'll entertain me if nothing else.
I think they're going to be fun.
We're going to have fun.
Yeah, we're going to be laughing. We think we're going to be laughing. So.
Cleaning. I guess trying to figure out all the different channels we need to be streaming to. I mean, right now we're like on 8 different channels.
Yeah.
And
they don't know about that though, Tom, because they're pretty much all just on whatever channel they're on. Yeah.
So. But sometimes it creates some confusion in terms of us being able to manage this and where we were keeping it. Like had one primary place, we could also use that Facebook page to kind of plan out topics and have some dialogue and help us prepare for this, where we don't really have a communication channel for smart business moves other than us talking here this time of day and looking at the chat feed.
Hey, Linda. Yeah, but I think a group is better than a page for that, Tom. You can get a lot better engagement in a group than on a page.
Okay. We'll do that.
And I like Leslie's topic. I think that's a great topic, preparing for taxes all year long. That's a really good topic. Happy employees and disgruntled employees would be a good topic. Yeah. I think we talk a lot about how to motivate employees and how to engage employees. But one of the things we don't talk about enough that people are still not clear about is what do you do when you have an employee that was a good employee, but like they're just like kind of on the downhill slide, right? They're just, things aren't going well with them. I think that that's a topic that not a lot of people talk about or know how to deal with. So I do think we need to have at least something about that. It'd be helpful.
Then you start wondering, I wonder how that could happen. Then you look in the mirror and say, could that happen to me too?
Of course.
Is it already happened to me?
Yeah, it's already happened. how to protect your business from a fired or disgruntled employee. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one too. Or a same kind of topic, how to protect your company from a fired or disgruntled client, right?
Yeah.
And they hit you up on Yelp or not.
There's so many different dimensions of that, from, stealing your clients to possibly, trying to get other employees to quit, to, workplace violence. I mean, there's a broad spectrum of possible outcomes there. None of them good.
So I am having to pitch a presentation for ARCSI for convention. And one of the things I was considering was the top 20 things. I wouldn't call it things, but y'all know me. The top 20 things that you need to know about managing your workforce, something along those lines. So it would be from motivating and incentivizing all the way down to disciplining and hiring and firing. And what do you guys think about that for convention topic? They usually have like 45 minutes to an hour for that. Just curious. Yeah, that's a really good one. Keeping employees engaged, not bored with jobs they do year after year. That's actually how I get the majority of my speaking engagements here locally, Leslie, is by saying, I tell people, so listen, if you want to keep your employees engaged, I can help you with that. I get people to clean toilets every single day for a decade and do a good job. If I can get them to do that, I'm sure we can get them to do your job. And that is a really good selling point, because it's not easy to get people to do a good job and want to do a good job day after day after day when they're same job day after day after day. Oh, good. Leslie, the great, is that to my ARCSI pitch, I hope? I probably need another name than the 20 things, right? But I hope that's yes to that, or great to that pitch. Did you have anything you're going to pitch yet, Tom?
I have no idea.
No idea? No.
I was debating if I was going to or not, but you've inspired me. So I'm.
Okay, good. Thanks, Leslie.
Actually, I had a discussion with Alonzo earlier today, and he guilted me into it.
Nice. How to do it?
Said I won't get on. He said a lot of things, but bottom line is, I have an obligation to at least an idea.
Right. And just because you put in an idea or a pitch doesn't mean they're going to take it, right?
That's right. I didn't say it was going to be, maybe it'll be a bad idea.
I'm trying to come up with like 2 or 3 ideas, because they rarely pick the idea that I think is good. So I'm afraid that if I just pitch one idea, they're not going to take it.
Come up with a bad one, and then I tried that one year, and they did pick the bad idea. I was like, crap. And then you know how it's no fun doing a presentation on something that your heart's not in. But
yeah, I never gave anything that I've never pitched anything that I thought was a bad topic that I couldn't get my.
I delegated it one year to one of our staff members, and he came up with some really awesome ideas, and one of them got approved. And I looked at that and said, what in the heck am I supposed to do with this? And it's like, I don't know. It's a good title, isn't it?
Was that Austin?
Yes.
Awesome. He did come up with some good titles, so I have to give him that. All right. Are we going to get started? I know. See, Tom, he would just drag out the chatty for the next 45 minutes because he is so done.
People don't know me as a chatty person, do they?
They don't, but they should start to. You guys are starting to get to know Tom a little bit better, right?
Am I really chatty? I mean,
you're not so much chatty as fun. You're kind of a fun guy. I think people don't know that.
Well, I'll mess up my shtick. Okay, so the whole point of what we're doing here is getting back to all of these light blue numbers here because they all contribute to driving revenue growth. And revenue growth is important because that's this box up here on our P&L. And we did a deep dive on maximizing the revenue per job. But now we're going to take the balance of these and kind of crunch them down because they're well spoken to. I mean, there's a lot of industry consultants and experts out there that have a wealth of information on how to get leads and, the whole process after getting leads, how to get quote sales, and maybe not so much high frequency recurring revenue. I mean, Carrie Knight, I know, does a lot of awesome work in that area. I think that she's probably unique in that regard.
Yeah. But I do think everybody talks about that. They just don't put as much focus on it as Carrie does. Carrie really.
Yeah. She has spent more time drilling on that one point than anybody else I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To her great benefit as well.
Yeah.
And ours.
Yeah. I mean, we took her course. It's like, I could spend a long time trying to figure some of this stuff out, but spent 5 hours and saves a bunch of time.
Easy. Yeah, it was good.
Okay, so obviously, if we're going to get a sale, the thing that we have to do at the beginning of the process is to get leads, and that's about marketing, and there's a lot of variations of that, and you can buy leads and network and all that. We kind of did a good job of covering this, didn't we?
If people weren't on here yesterday, they're going to be like, flocking? What the heck is flocking?
Well, if you weren't here, you're going to have to go back and watch that.
I'm flocking if you weren't here yesterday. The only person who knows what that is Stephanie Nessett and me. I remember.
Well, and the folks that were here yesterday. And,
yeah.
It was probably some people thinking, never mind. Never mind. We'll just
let it go, Tom. Let it go.
We're moving on.
You're going to be one of those people that everybody's talking about. Did you hear what Tom said or did on Facebook?
How do you get sent to? I've seen people say that they were sent to Facebook jail. What is that about?
No, I was seriously sent to Facebook jail.
You?
Right? I posted too many questions in a row.
About what?
It was I think it was in like a Black Lives Matter group or something. And I posted too many questions right in a row. It was only a 2-day jail, but I wasn't allowed to post any more questions. I was like, wow.
So if you had done one post with 10 questions, would that have been okay? But if you put a question,
they don't give you a lot of explanation. I know a lot of people that have been in Facebook jail for like a week or more. So
do they let you know in advance, like you're in jail for 2 days or 5? So you don't even, it's like when you're sent to jail, normally you get a sentence and you know how long you're going to be there.
And they don't call it Facebook jail either. They say that, I think it said something like, your account has been suspended from posting. And I was only suspended in this one little group, posting and questions in this group for, I think it was 40. I think they did tell me for 48 hours. I was like, why? What did I do? The only thing I could point to was it was too many questions because, you know me, I wasn't being obnoxious or it was just my normal curious questions. So, yeah.
Not intentionally.
Yeah. Good point. Very good point.
That was not your motive, but
no.
It sounds like to some degree it was misinterpreted, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But they didn't give me any more information than that. So, but I know quite a few people that have been in Facebook jail for like a week at a time, where they can't post. They can read, but they're not allowed to post anywhere on all of Facebook.
Okay, so let's talk about quotes and quoting. What are the various ways that we can quote?
Online, by phone, in person, And I guess online is that kind of, I guess that's by our websites.
And there's two variations of that. You can give a quote, or you can actually book. There's some people that have tools that will, I don't even know if it's necessarily a hard quote, but like a magnitude scale type thing. And if you want to actually book a job and take our service, then there's another step that you have to go through that requires a phone call or something. But, you know, a lot of companies, would you say most companies? I don't know. It's certainly not all companies do online booking, but
Me too. I want to see it, Paul. Paul Freed's handing out documents over here.
What's happening here?
I know you have my email address, Paul. We were talking about you yesterday. Were you on yesterday, Paul, when we were talking all about you? We were talking about guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
You were famous.
And how to get a cheap bicycle and chain it up and wait for somebody, you know, as a marketing ploy until somebody steals it and rides off with it. But even then, you get leads.
Yeah. Well, we talked about other stuff too, frisbees and his bridge, and you know, he just does a lot of unique, cool things.
The balloons.
Yeah. Anyway, back to quotes. Sorry, pulled me off track there.
I digress.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Paul. Okay, so online, phone, and home.
What are the advantages, Tom, so I was just having a talk with somebody in one of the MMA groups about this. She's going back and forth. She was going to do a book it now on her website, but then she said she chickened out and she just put the, you know, get an instant quote instead of booking. What are the advantages or disadvantages? I wasn't sorry. Oh, that's okay, Paul. No worries. You know all the stuff since you do it all. But don't forget me. I want the Passover cleaning info too.
The online booking, what are the advantages?
Yeah, or disadvantages. I know people are real hesitant. I know that one of the big things about booking online, booking like a book it now type option, is the scheduling. They don't want the clients to be able to just drop themselves on the schedule, whatever day they want. So I know that's an issue. But are there other things?
Let me do something here real quick.
Okay.
This is worth a discussion.
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
Can we post that in the resource center?
I don't know. I can't see it yet. It's just on my watch. It just says he sent a photo.
No, but if he'd be cool, if Paul's cool with that, we'll post it for anybody who wants to download it.
If it's something you want to share, Paul, yeah, send it. I can. Let me know, Paul, if it's okay, and I can share it with everyone.
Let's have this discussion. Pros and cons of online booking.
Okay.
Pros are it's 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Anybody on here? Okay. Paul said we could post it, so I'll give it to you. I'll send it over to you, Tom. Who on here does online booking, like book it now? Anybody? Where the customer can just go on, find out how much their job is going to cost, and then say, yes, book my cleaning. Anybody do that? I'm pretty sure you do that, don't you, Paul? Anybody else? Curious. We'll see. All right. Pros, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes.
You get to capture their credit card.
Yeah.
And there's something psychological about that. And it's not 100%, but when somebody gives you their credit card, they kind of feel like that they've already bought it. It's not a decision that they're making anymore. The decision's been made.
But I mean, if they're paying, it has been made. Paul does certain types of cleanings. So, which ones don't you do it for, Paul? Like vacants or something like that, vacant cleanings or one-time cleanings, maybe, or maybe you don't do recurring. I don't know. I'm curious. So capturing the credit card, yeah, that's great. Pros, 24 hours a day. What else? I think it appeals to the younger market. So a lot of this newer, yes, on booking, but not scheduling the appointment. All right, so they can book it, but then you're going to have to contact them to schedule it. Is that right, Robin? Oh, and Paul, you only do it for move outs. Okay, I get it. And now, Paul, do they book the schedule? Do they put it on the schedule also with yours? Yeah, I definitely think it appeals to some demographics, especially this younger generation that really is used to just getting things fast. You know, I know when we had a prime glitch here during COVID where normally you order something from Amazon, what's maximum amount of time it takes to get it? Maybe 3 days? Usually you get it next day, 2 days, right? Sometimes 3 days. But over the holidays, maybe it wasn't the holidays, maybe it was earlier. I think it was October, maybe early November. My daughter was here, and my whole family was here. My daughter, my son, etc. And my daughter was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to order this game so we can play while everybody's there." I was like, "Just bring it with you." She's like, "No, I'm going to order it while I'm there." I'm like, "Love it. It won't get here if you order it while you're here." She's like, "Okay, Mama. Okay." She gets here and she's like, "I want to order that game now." I was like, "I told you it won't get here." And she's like, "Mom, it's Amazon. You have Prime. It'll get here." All right. I got it 4 days after she went home. She was here a week because it was just crazy. And my daughter was like almost furious. She was like, "What is going on? I don't understand. This is ridiculous. How can we?" I'm like, you're mad because they won't send you a game in 3 days. Why don't you just go to Fred Meyer and buy it? But she was like, and it's that. And my son also, he was right on board with her. Just like, that's ridiculous. I don't know why we're not getting our stuff. You are getting it. It's just taking 10 days instead of 1.
I guess that's an example of kind of the whole mindset and the expectation of younger consumers. They don't want to talk to people. You know, if I can go on, actually drive to a store and walk in and buy something.
But that's easier than talking to someone on the phone.
Yeah.
So you find somebody that's, under 25 years old, that's comfortable, even knows how to talk on the phone. There's something odd there. They don't even know how. They don't know how to answer the phone. They don't know how to talk.
I'm gonna go back here. There's another option here, so I don't forget.
All right.
We do this and then we don't do it, and then we do it for a while. You can book jobs through chat off your website.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what Robin does. He says that the prospects on his Book It Now, they book the service and they can provide dates, but then they call back to confirm or have alternatives. That's a great idea. Yeah. I like that.
Once you have their credit card, you can pick up the phone and call them and just say, "I want to make sure that you understand the terms of service and the scope of work and just a few things." And this will be a very quick call, and that goes over. I don't know if we've ever really run into a situation where, why are you calling me? I don't want to talk to you. It's like, you realize we're coming into your home. We thought maybe there's a couple things you'd want to know before we show up.
And as long as it's set up, we talk about this a lot, Tom, as long as the expectation is there that there's more information we're going to have to get from you, which is what I like about what Robin does. Give me some options, and then we're going to call and chat about it. They're fine. Oh yeah, yeah. Paul's got an awesome undesirable, a con, if you will. They get a lot of undesirables. Big con is you don't know what you're walking into. Big con. If those of you that aren't on this live could see how fast Leslie responded to that. I swear it was barely hit the screen and Leslie was, oh my God, truth.
It's hard to qualify clients. Basically, the only qualification is you have a credit card that doesn't bounce.
But you need to put what I said on there, that you don't know what you're walking into, regardless of what you run into a lot more people when you're booking online that.
Isn't qualifying the client basically figuring out to some degree what you're going to be walking into?
That's not how I think of it.
Okay.
I think of them, I think of maybe, I mean, obviously that's how you think of it, but I think of qualifying the client as just figuring out if they qualify for our services, and they might, even if that's like the house is trashed, they still might qualify.
I got you. Okay.
I feel like when you're booking online, I believe that you just run into a lot more. Yeah, that's a good term. Trashed houses. And the information is not as accurate. I don't know. It's like they don't actually have to write usually anywhere on the Book It Now that their house is clean and neat and tidy and it's not bad. So they don't tell you it's trashed. You find that out later. Where's all this light coming from? It keeps getting my eyes.
Good grief.
The what?
I'm just saying, good grief, the light.
I know, it's so confusing.
So, I mean, you can have,
very true.
You can ask questions on your quoting tool, like, you can do the whole dirt code thing on a scale of 1 to 10. How dirty is your home?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had your home professionally cleaned?
I think Leslie's right, though, that clients have a hard time assessing their own level of dirt or their own clutter level, the density. It looks normal-ish to them. Even the really trashed houses, they don't recognize how bad it looks to us. Yeah, to them, they don't know. Yeah, have them send pics. I love that. We like to get a picture of the master shower, especially if there's any grout in there. Really love to get a picture of the stovetop. And I really love to get a picture of the floor in front of the sink, the kitchen sink. This is my favorite. We qualify when we confirm the appointment. We also have the team lead review the home before the cleaning starts to make sure expectations are the same. Yeah, I think that that's a good way to go. Quite a few people will do an on-site check at the time when they're going to start service.
If you're doing online booking, they can send pics, but at that point, you've already kind of booked. You have booked the job, and you've given them a price. I guess you can qualify all of that. That this is an estimate, and depending upon how trashed your house is, this could change. Something else that along the idea of asking people how dirty their home is, maybe have like a questionnaire. And I'm going to back off of this too. Every time you ask somebody for a piece of information, you're going to lose sales. They call it friction. So every time you ask them to do something else, there's going to be a percentage of people that just screw it. I don't have time for all of this. But if you really wanted to know, one thing that you could do is have a questionnaire where you got a picture of a room that's not cluttered and a picture that is cluttered, and ask them to click on the room that most looks like their living room or their bedroom or whatever. Have a kitchen that's immaculate and one that's got dishes stacked all over it. Which one of these pictures more looks like your house?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I really like that a lot.
I just wrote that down. That's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to use it, but that entertains me.
You might have to have a 3 option, because if I'm right in the middle, which I think a lot of people consider themselves kind of right in the middle, their house isn't going to look pristine, and it's also not going to look, completely trashed. All right, what does Katerina say? I don't have online booking, but I really enjoy free estimate tool. Yeah, the free estimate tool, a lot of people really, really like that, which gives me more details about the property and the customer's need. I don't think online bookings are the best option for recurring customers. They need a more personal approach. It's definitely less personal than any of the other options. Probably why the close rate is just lower, right? The close rate is just lower on those than, but it kind of starts with in-home estimates, and then you go to your phone, and then you go to your web estimate, and then you contact them, and then you kind of go to your online Book It Now tool.
The free estimate tool, is that just a tool that does free estimates, or is there a free tool out there that you can put on your website for estimates?
I don't know. Katerina, that question is directed at you. If there is, I know that, I think it was Launch had an add-on that you could use to put on your website. They had a Book It Now tool. I don't know if there was an estimate tool though. Zen Booker.
Yeah, Paul's mentioning Zen Booker, no relation to Zen Maids. I never heard of it, but
it's a great online booking tool. Is it just like a widget kind of where you can just put it on your website, Paul? That's nifty. I love that.
We'll give them a plug.
Yeah. Also, Responsibid, Tom, you can use to just give pricing and not give, not have it.
Actual, you don't have to go all the way to the point where you're booking a job.
Okay, so that would be one. Is that I have a custom built tool? It's free.
I hope their booking tool is quicker than their website.
Yeah. What do you mean it's free, Katerina? How can it be free if it's custom built? Sorry, I'm probably asking a really obvious question, but I don't get it.
Okay, it's got pricing, so they're going to charge you something for this one, but this looks.
What's the pricing, Tom? Hit the pricing real quick. Free for 14 days, up to 2 service territories. Wow, it's cheap. $29 a month for 2 service territories, $79 for 8 service territories.
What's the service territory?
Well, I'm guessing like zip codes or cities, I'm guessing. Paul, is that right?
A few zip codes isn't much.
Yeah, that's true.
Where you live. I mean, if you live in, Colorado or Wyoming, it could be half the damn state. But excuse me, it could be. It's been a long week, Liz. Sorry.
And Robin uses Responsibid. So Robin, I know a lot of people use Responsibid, but it is one of the tools that you can use that you don't have to. You can go either way. You use the Book It Now function, or you can do the estimate only. Yeah, it really is reasonable, Paul. And you really like it. You recommend it? That's awesome. He says it's awesome. So Zen Booker. Awesome. Why did I not write that down?
I'll give you another reason for online booking, and I guess it kind of falls into the same category of giving online quotes. Even if you do online quotes, you're getting a lead as part of that. Well, I assume so. Most there's some people who do online quoting where you can go into the quoting tool and actually plug in whatever the criteria is and get a quote, get the price. Before putting in your contact info. And there's other ways of designing them where you've got to give your contact info before you get to play with the numbers.
Right.
And if you do it that way, you can get a lot of leads that not all of them book, but at least they were interested enough to play around to kind of figure out what it would cost, that you can then drop them in a campaign and, drop them some emails and call them and send them a postcard and make them a deal, that they can't refuse. you know, if they want to sign up for high frequency, recurring service, you'll hook them up where they never have to clean their home again type deal.
Yeah. So I think another con is based on what Katerina is saying here, is that you lose the relationship piece. And so the tendency is for them not to stay with you as long. So you're going to lose that longer value with the online booking. It's connected to my business email. When customer fills all options, I receive it through email. Yes, it's free. I just added $150 extra to my web developer. Oh, so it costs $150 to create it. Okay, I got you. All right, that's cool, Katerina. I love that. That's a great idea.
So you said basically what you're saying is you maybe aren't getting as much out of lifetime value.
Yeah.
Are there ways around that though? Is that indicative of the booking tool itself, or is that the communication plan after you book the job and after you make them a client?
I think that the type of people that do online booking are more predisposed to a changing environment. They're easy to hire somebody else. It's very easy to I'll just book a different cleaning company. So they're predisposed that way. Does it mean that they can't be brought around to a relationship type status? No, I'm not saying that, but
I do think that we see more and more, I mean, really a lot more people who are signing up for what you consider on-demand service, that they don't really have a recurring schedule, but they're going to pick up their phone and they're going to order cleaning maybe every 4 weeks or so. You just don't know, maybe, 3 weeks and then 5 weeks, and what day and time and all that might be different.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you have online booking, and I guess there's another part to the online booking is once they've booked and they have a price and the scope of work and everything is set up, do you have a portal? Do you have a mechanism that they can go back to, that they don't have to go through the whole quoting tool again? They can basically just pick up their phone and click a button and order cleaning.
Yeah, that makes a big deal for those clients, especially. Robin has another thing on here that is really good. I like this is a pro for the client, is that it allows people to do some pricing research, which actually is good for us as well, because there are people out there that want a cleaning service, but they have it in their minds that it's too expensive. So when they have the option to be able to go online and find out how much it costs, even if initially it might seem like it's expensive, they check a few sites, that number starts sounding more and more reasonable and rational. So I do like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I agree with Robin too, that, well, same as that you said, Tom, that you still do have to build the relationship. Relationships don't just happen on their own. But I do think that there is more of a bent toward not wanting to have relationships with everybody and their brother. I want to have relationships with my family members, and I don't really want to have a relationship with my house cleaner. I think that is definitely more the way things are going than less. Back in the day, it was the opposite, but reviews. Get as many positive online reviews as possible. The more reviews, the more desirable you are to prospect.
We missed you yesterday, Paul. Yesterday was marketing day. We could have used you.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here today. We can use you today too, but we talked some about the reviews yesterday.
But Tom, we need to go to the next slide because it's already quarter till. Otherwise, we're going to be talking about sales again tomorrow.
But we gotta get the deal. I mean, the quote in the online booking is the novel discussion here.
Yeah.
What do we really need to say about phone sales?
Well, no, there are.
Listen, everybody does phone sales. Maybe not 100% of the time. Maybe you do other things too. But I don't know anybody that under certain circumstances won't book a job over the phone.
Yeah. So I agree that everybody's doing some phone sales, but not everybody is having success with phone sales.
Right.
So, you know, there is a really awesome book that we're reading right now in Book Talk, and it is The Little Red Book of Selling. If you guys have ever read any of Jeffrey Gitomer, if you like him, you'll like this. You'll love this book. If you're not a Gitomer fan, don't pick it up because it is very much in the Gitomer vein, but it has a lot of, it's very dense. It has a lot of information because, you know, the way he writes is just, you know, do this, do this, do this, do this. So it has so much action in it that, well, even when he's introducing the book, he says each page needs to be read twice. Once to understand it, one to absorb it, and I really would say a third time even to be able to implement off of it, because there's just so much information in the book. Let's see, let me scroll up. I think I saw a post from Robin. Yeah, Paul, don't worry about it. We're going to get you on as a guest here before too long. Robin, using Sotellus for reviews. Yeah, I do love Sotellus. It's awesome, isn't it? It really is so easy. Yeah, it's very, very nice. We didn't mention that yesterday, Tom. We probably should have, but all right. So phone sales, absolutely. Do we have any numbers around any of this stuff, Tom? Like, do we know what a average, do you know what, because I don't know, what like an average close rate is for phone sales or online booking, or what else is fun?
I don't think there is. I mean, I guess theoretically there is an average, but there's a pretty big variance there. I know, you know, a lot of people, from a lead to a book job, you know, they can get 2-3% of those. I say leads, people on their website. No, I didn't even count as a lead, but just conversion rate, I guess, is how you would measure it. Visitors to your website to actually booking a job. If you can get 1-3%, you're doing well in a lot of circles. Once you start getting them into the funnel, into the process of, okay, I'm playing with your tool, I've given you my contact information, so I'm a lead, I'm a formal lead. What percentage of those actually wind up booking a job, and booking a job, what percent become recurring clients? That can vary a lot. It depends on your market. It depends upon, you know, the level of service you're providing, the competition in your market. You know, the more competitive markets that are out there, as a rule, you're going to get a smaller share of those because people are going to be shopping around a little bit. But like Paul was saying, you know, your reputation, your reviews, things like that, you kind of play into it as well. There's some people that come to your website that have already made up their mind that, you know, they're going to use you because of what their neighbor said or what they read, you know, in a Yelp review.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Katerina's talking about in-home here, and she's remembering when we had Yusuf. Okay, I just got to say, Katerina, I do not know how you spell Yusuf Memetoglu's name correctly.
She looked that up.
But she spelled it right.
She did. I guess it looks right.
No, it is right. I'm so impressed. Yeah, they still do the walkthrough, and they find it the most effective to close. And not only to close, but he does it for lifetime value. I can't remember how long he said he was able to keep his
it's for a long time, and he's got a huge business. I mean, that's an example of, everybody used to do it that way. Now very few people are doing it that way. Maybe more people would be better off if they do it that way.
Yeah, people are going back to that again for, you know, people that are interested in it. So
Katerina, did you remember how to spell Yusuf's name, or did you look that up?
Me? No,
No,
Katarina.
Katarina.
Yeah. Well, she might be like me. I know how to spell it too. So she might just be, there's just not very many people that know how to spell.
Period. I'm one of those. I can't spell anything.
That's kind
Do
of
you know, do you know how hard life was for me before spell check? Or how hard it is for me now with spell check? It's not easy. It's not easy, Liz.
Yeah, Sam, I was gonna bring you up, but I didn't want to call you out. Oh, Katarina did check.
That's good.
Yeah. You were gonna. I really
I
wish.
would have gone right to Facebook and just copied.
Yeah, Sam does a hybrid right now. I, I I think that most people right now are doing a combination of different sales things, sort of whatever the customer wants, whatever is meeting the customer's needs the best. I can call you out. Okay, thanks. Do you guys agree with that? That most people are doing a combination. I don't know very many people that are doing chat. The people that I know that are doing it have a lot of success. I'll call out Mitchell Baker on this. He does most of his, or he did, I haven't talked to him in the last couple of months, but he did the majority of his quotes by chat, and his close rate was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I can't imagine that there's many people, if any, companies that have only one channel for quotes. I presume almost everybody will do a quote over the phone. Maybe it's not.
Yusuf doesn't.
Not never.
No, he doesn't do any. He only does in-home. And Sam is saying all the franchisers are doing walkthroughs only. I don't know about here if they are. When COVID hit here, a lot of people stopped wanting the in-home. So look at Tom's face. He's like,
well, I'm thinking about, there was a day that, we would lead with free in-home, no obligation consultation type deal. And, we would say that, we only do in-home consultations. But if somebody called up and said, okay, I'm really in a pinch and, I don't have time, to give you a quote, you can give me a range, you can I'll pay by hour. I don't care. I just need you to clean my home. Then we would talk to them on the phone for a little bit, and we'd get a credit card and we'd show up and clean their home tomorrow. It wasn't, it was not the norm, but, there are always, were situations where, okay, well, we'll take your money and we'll do this. And, there's, I just can't imagine that there's many companies out there that under certain circumstances wouldn't take somebody's credit card and book a job without doing an in-home walk.
I know that there are, though, because I know the companies and that they have reasons. There's a few reasons. First is if they don't do an in-home, they don't know how to price and how to give the people what the price is. They don't know what they're going to run into. They don't want to send their people out. Their people are mad about it. I know quite a few people actually.
Do you think that they represent a significant part of the industry?
No,
Okay.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that there are people that only do one way. It's not at all common. But there was a time when that was pretty much all people did. They didn't know how to do a phone quote. I can remember 15 years ago, I didn't know how to bid on the phone. We only did in-home, only. And if somebody there was a time when this was longer ago than that we even went out for vacants. We even went out in person to look at a vacant.
You want to see how dirty it was.
I know, it's ridiculous. Now I think, what were we looking for? But at the time, it seemed like, I wasn't going to know how to get a price on that. So we did all the time. Oh, during COVID, that's when they started. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You have to qualify the prospect before going to do an in-home estimate. Qualify the prospect. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that that's the only way that you'll be able to get the job, Robin? Or Sorry.
You get a higher close rate with in-home. Is that what Sam is saying?
Yeah, they needed the close rate there because they were losing
If
work.
I'm only getting 2 quotes a week, why waste them on a phone call? I need to go out and meet with them.
I need to be able, because if you go out there, you know you're going to get it. Like, there's not enough time to do in-home estimates. Well, Paul, I mean, if I was getting 350 leads monthly, I would not be doing any in-home estimates either. Actually, we're not doing any, but that's awesome. 350 leads a month. I'm just, are they good leads? Tell me they're bad leads so I can like salvage something over here, Paul. I don't have to go to sleep tonight like fretting. Can they afford the estimate? Oh, I got you. Yes. I agree. I'm not going to go out to a house, 2,000 square foot house. I know the price is going to be between $150 and $200 if the customer is saying, yeah, my, Susie Q that used to clean my house did it for 50. Yeah, you're right. I'm not going out to the house then. Sam, iPhone quote, average price, and then I am visiting in person for vacants if they think the price point is doable. Oh, I had to do this because my first time ins were way underbid constantly. I have much happier people now. All right. So yeah, we should talk, Sam, about that. We've eliminated that problem. So of not being able to know what we're running into. So let's talk. Bring that up. I think somebody has deep dive tomorrow. Let's talk about it. I don't do that if it is on the MLS at the time because I can say, oh, yeah, I got you. That makes sense. All right.
If it's on the MLS at that point, I would assume that it's not completely trashed because it's going to be hard to sell a home if.
Yeah, it's not going to be trash if it's on the MLS. Yeah. And she knows, she was a realtor, so she knows. Yeah. All right. So.
Okay. So.
What do we want to say about sales and high frequency recurring revenue? We got 2 minutes.
That's tomorrow.
All right.
But the last thought about quotes.
Night call. Have a good dinner.
Going for pizza.
Yeah, I love pizza.
He's doing something better than Cece's though.
I even like Cece's, so it's not as good as a lot of pizzas, but.
What we talked about yesterday was getting leads. Making sure that you've got processes in place where you're quoting as many leads as you possibly can. You're paying for leads one way or another. You're paying for leads. You're either doing it through, the money that you're paying for SEO, or if you're doing any type of AdWords or pay-per-click or any other type of advertising, or just the branding. Even if you've got company logo cars, that's an investment you're making to generate people who are reaching out to you for quotes. It might be through one of a number of channels that we talked about yesterday. And, we run into people who don't have as much business as they need. They need more homes to clean, and they think it's a marketing problem when actually they're getting leads, but they really aren't putting the focus on quoting. So at the very least, nothing happens till you get a lead, but that's just where it starts. Answer the phone. You want to answer the phone when it rings. You want to, somebody needs to be watching your email and responding quickly, because in today's world, the other part of this is leads are like produce. They rot very quickly. And if you don't respond to leads quickly, you're not even going to get an opportunity to quote, because they're going to say, no, I already booked with somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like they're more like dollar bills on the ground. You better pick that sucker up now, because if you don't, someone else will. I promise.
You got to pick. Yeah, that's a good point. If you don't pick it, if you don't grab it, one of your competitors is going to grab it.
They will grab it. Yep. Somebody else will be cleaning that house if you're not. That's the thing. I always remind myself, if I'm not cleaning it, someone else is. Oh, dang it. Sam has a good point. I didn't know about this, Sam. Our homes get 30 or more offers right now, all cash. So sometimes they are trash because it doesn't matter. Because that's how fast the houses are moving right now. That's crazy. All right.
Sweet. Top of the hour. tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.